Welcome back to the Sala Takeover, powered by Millennium TV. It's your main man, Will, back in again, alongside my brother, Willie Will. Holla at the people, bro.
How you doing, brother? How you doing? Hello, world. How's everybody doing out there today?
Man, everybody feeling good, feeling great, man. And, as we continue to do social distancing and practice social distancing, we have cases in situation as in Michigan, where we have a large increase in COVID cases, man.
Yeah, there seems to be a 400% increase in positive cases in Michigan, which is sad news. Being that the country as a whole is actually doing a lot better. At this point, Michigan asked the government for an increase in vaccines to combat the increase in positive cases that they're having. And the government literally told them, we don't think that more vaccines is going to help you at this point, being that you have so many positive cases. It looks like Michigan is going back to possibly shutting down, rolling back, whatever openings they had. Mm-hmm. And it's sad, it's a matter of, this is when people don't understand that just having the vaccines isn't enough. You have to continue to social distance and continue to keep your masks on for it to work.
So per USA Today, the CDC says that Michigan not likely to get the extra vaccines to combat the surge, because apparently Michigan was stating they see the large increase in his numbers. They were asking the CDC for more vaccines.
Yeah.
Per stated, like you said, per USA Today, the CDC chief urges Michigan to close things down amid the spike. So does that mean, most likely they're going to have to, shut down businesses again? So it's not just affecting, you would think things were getting heading in the right direction. A lot of people were getting vaccinated. But apparently people thinking that, the vaccine's out, we're fine, we're back to normal.
Yeah.
It's just made things worse in Michigan. So
well, unfortunately, if you don't follow the rest of the guidelines, it doesn't matter if you're getting vaccinated. You know what I mean? Because the vaccine is going to prevent you from being hospitalized.
Gotcha.
It's not necessarily preventing you from getting COVID.
And I think that's where the misconception is. I think the misconception is that people think that, I have the vaccine, I'm fine.
Exactly.
I'm fine. I'm not going to get it.
Let me go out drinking with my mask off, and let me go, to ball games, and let me just, gallivant and go to parties and do. Man, you have to continue to follow the guidelines, because the guidelines are put into place, and they continuously reiterate, even if you have the vaccine, even if even though the vaccines are being rolled out, continue to follow the guidelines. It's simple, man, but you know how people are. It's hard to get the masses. You can get the masses, to follow what you're saying, but then when you get those groups of people, they're gonna
listen. I think people listen. What people don't understand is I get it. People are tired of this quarantine. They're tired of being stuck in the house.
Of course, we all are.
Summertime's right around the corner. Spring is here. People are excited to get back to somewhat of a norm.
Right.
But you're not helping the cause, man.
Not at all. Look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. Overall, in the United States, the positive cases have been reduced by 30%
which is great.
Right. Because of all the adults that have been vaccinated so far, the rates are going down. And because the rates of the overall positive cases have been going down, there are certain states that have changed the restrictions as of who can take the vaccine, who can get the vaccine. For example, New York, which is, our state, started out with seniors and frontline workers getting the vaccine when the vaccine first rolled out.
Seniors as old as what age? Do we have a number or no?
55 to 65. Just people with a higher risk of being affected by the COVID-19 virus. But now in April, they have lowered the age restriction all the way down to 16 years old.
Wow.
So basically, because we're doing so well in the department of keeping ourselves safe, we've actually been able to increase the amount of people that can obtain the vaccine, which helps everybody overall.
Yeah, which is awesome, man. I mean, listen, the more people you get vaccinated, the better.
The safer it is for everybody. The safer it is for schools to open. The safer it is for our bars and restaurants to increase. The amount
and yet again, as was stated, just because you have the vaccine doesn't mean you can't get it, but it definitely helps by you not having to be hospitalized, because let's not forget that was the main issue when this COVID, came out. They didn't even have enough ventilators for people because they were having such a hard time breathing because of the your lungs.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's great that we're somewhat getting back to normal. It's great that a lot of people get vaccinated, but let's not forget that just because you're vaccinated doesn't mean we're back to normal.
Exactly. Right.
I mean, listen, you still have a lot of skepticism between what vaccine is working best. You know, people definitely put their faith more into the Pfizer and the Moderna.
Yeah, they're in the 90s as far as efficiency, you know, combating the COVID-19.
Yes.
You know, but then we're having now, you know, we have to be careful because we're having issues with the Johnson and Johnson vaccine, who because of the issues that they had in their laboratory, in their factories, now they have decreased the amount of vaccines that are being rolled out to states. So, you know, this is, you know, we're doing well. We're having a hiccup with Johnson and Johnson. At the same time, Johnson and Johnson has about a 60 to 70% efficiency rate, you know, compared to the 95% that the Moderna and, you know, and some of the other vaccines have, you know, on combating, you know, fighting the vaccine. So we just got to continue.
The virus, you mean the virus?
The virus, I'm sorry, the virus. So we have to just continue doing the right thing. You know, continue. Listen, if I have to stay in my house for the month of April and May so I can enjoy June, July, and August, why wouldn't I just make that? You've already been home for a year. I mean, what's another month?
I mean, most people might do it anyway, man. Allergy season is out there, man, and as I don't know if you guys can see, but it's definitely kicking my butt, man. So
yeah, brother, you know, I get it sometimes too, man. I know it's horrible, man. You got to check up on your friends and families that have allergies because it's not just the getting the flu, man. Sometimes it's people are going through it.
Well, you know, people right away get into panic mode, but like, hold on, man. Stop it.
Yeah, no, man. This is the time.
Yeah.
You know, listen, man.
No, I was gonna say, man, we're gonna have to take a short commercial break, man.
Absolutely.
We'll be back, man, within a few seconds, and you already know.
Let's go pay some bills, baby.
With the Sala Takeover, powered by Millennium TV. Me and man Rubio back in again with my brother Willie Will. Willie Will, let him know what we got going on right now, man.
How you doing, my brother? We're good. So currently we have yet another uprising in protesting, violence, and riots happening in Minneapolis once again. Almost a year, maybe a little bit over to the T after the George Floyd murders.
Which is currently going on right now.
Which is currently on trial and which is making all of this even tenser. Mm-hmm. So what's currently happening or what's currently being reported is that there was a fatal shooting of a young black man by the name of Dante Wright, 20 years old, Dante Wright, after what seemingly was once again a routine traffic stop. So according to NBC News, police observed a vehicle that had an expired registration, an expired license plate. You know, they stopped the vehicle. As they were approaching the vehicle, they realized that he had air fresheners and other objects hanging from his rear view mirror, which is deemed illegal.
Was considered obstruction. Obstruction, yeah. So.
Absolutely. So that in turn seemingly led them to run Mr. Dante Wright's information, which then came up that he had a gross misdemeanor warrant. From what it seems and the reports, they pulled the gentleman out of the car. Apparently, they were going to arrest him for the warrant. As they were trying to handcuff him, he got loose from them during this portion of whatever was going on. He started running into his car. At this point,
he got into the scuffle and he went into his car because they had him up against the car.
Okay. Right. And we saw the video. So basically, you can see that there was a scuffle. They were trying to handcuff him. He ran into his car. You know, at this point, I'm pretty sure now that the situation got heightened, you know, adrenaline is going. And unfortunately, he was shot, which it seems to have been by mistake. So he was shot by a longtime veteran police officer of the Brooklyn Center Police Officer Department. Her name is Kim Potter.
Okay.
And from what we can determine and hear in the video, she pulled out her what we saw as her weapon. But as this was going on, she's yelling, "Taser, taser, taser."
Correct.
She lets out a shot, which wasn't a taser. She was holding her service weapon. Shot him, and he was actually able to drive off. And it seems that he died somewhere else. And you can actually hear her in camera stating, "Oh my God, that wasn't, like it wasn't, it wasn't a taser."
Now, one of the discussions that me and you had when we were talking about the story was the difference between them. Besides the color, the grip on the guns, are they similar?
I mean, if you look at the shape of a taser, it's basically shaped like a gun. The shape might be a little bit different. It might look, bulkier, but the handle and how they carry the taser is similar to how they carry their service weapons. So basically, imagine, look at the human side of this. Imagine you being the police officer, because I know it's a sensitive issue to bring it up and be on the police side of it. But at the same time, if you look at these situations,
you have to look at both sides of the story,
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, again, without by no means the shooting or the killing or the murder of any young black man or anybody, in that case, by the police is justified. Again, unless they're defending themselves. If I'm shooting at them or they're being shot at, that's obvious.
Yeah.
But, at this point, the gentleman is being apprehended. There's a scuffle. He runs into his car. Looking at the other side of this, you get nervous. Adrenaline starts pumping into your system. I'm going to put myself in their shoes. I'm going to pull out what I'm thinking is my taser to de-escalate the situation. And by mistake, I pulled my service weapon. It's a difficult thing to look at. It's a difficult way to picture it because of everything that's been going on. And like you stated, like you stated a little while ago, we currently have the George Floyd murder trial going on, which was obvious what happened in that situation.
I mean, it's just crazy that, like you said, almost a year apart. Yeah. Another situation in Minnesota has occurred.
Exactly. Where, in Minnesota, out of all places.
Of all places, is the same state, and it's crazy because, this definitely is not gonna sit well. Regardless if it was a mistake by the police officer or not, that's gonna be something that's gonna have to be brung. All these police officers now have body cam footage.
Right.
So clearly on the body cam footage, like we saw what had occurred. The human aspect of it, like you said, adrenaline could have been going, and she made a mistake. Who knows? I don't know. That's gonna be for judge and jury. That's gonna be for judge and jury to figure out.
Right. That's gonna be for the investigation to determine. What exactly was the what happened? What was the intent, or was it just purely human error?
Yeah.
But again, from we have already started giving our own opinions and forming our own opinions and from what we're looking at and what we saw in that video. So, again, we have to wait for an investigation. We have to see what happens, but it's a little difficult to swallow when everything else is going on like it's currently going on.
It's very difficult to swallow, especially when you have the George Floyd trial in the same state occurring at the same time.
Of course.
Now you have another shooting of another young black man whose life was taken due to this. The question that a lot of people are going to be asking, of course, is going to be what could have been done to prevent this. Which is the question that constantly gets brought up because it's definitely become a common thing, which is not good at all.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. I mean,
as you stated, you always have to include the human aspect of it because the police officers do have a duty to do.
Right.
But there's always going to be overlooked and looked at under a microscope to make sure that everything was done properly to prevent this from ever happening again. This is definitely a touchy subject, man, but we're going to jump back into it when we come back. We're going to take a short commercial break. We're going to jump back into this and continue talking about this. And y'all already know, man, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Don't change that down.
we're back with a Sala Takeover powered by Millennium TV. Your main man, Rubio, back at it again with my brother, Willie Will. Willie Will, let him know, man.
Welcome back, sir. Welcome back. Let's get to it.
As right before we went to commercial break, man, we were touching up on the situation down in Minnesota again with another killing of a young black man, Dante Wright. And besides the loss of this young black man, we're gonna touch up on the protesting, the rioting, and the looting, because we're all for protesting for the rightful cause, man. And
that's every American's right.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that for peaceful protesting, man. But I think the problem therein lies with all the rioting and the looting, which has occurred since this happened again. And I get, people want to take the violent route, but rioting and looting of these stores is not helping the cause, man.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. You're trying to get your message across with your protesting, on what your feelings are and how you feel about these shootings and these situations happening. And basically it falls into deaf ears because you have other people who take advantage of the situation to basically go out there to rob and steal, to loot.
It gets overlooked because they're like, oh, it gets all, even though it's not the same people that are rioting and looting or the people that are protesting, but it's all like when it's shown, it's all brung in together, which is not good.
Well, instead of you paying attention to the message of the protest, you're being angered by the fact that people are looting and that they're breaking into stores and they're burning things down, which it kind of distracts you from what the whole protest situation, why the protests happen, what their situation is, and it's sad. It's sad.
Correct. And just to touch up on it, Mark Allen, who is the president of the Brooklyn Center Business Association, per Yahoo News, he worries of the lasting impact of these riotings, because this is the second time around that these stores and these counties are being looted and rioted, because the same happened with the murder of George Floyd. A lot of businesses like T-Mobile, GameStop, Foot Locker were all vandalized, looted for it. And he said, Mark Allen stated, it's sad, the shooting and the death of Dante Wright is a sad thing, and it has left him shell shocked. But the rioting and the looting does not, he can understand the mourning for that. I'm sorry, and he can understand the protesting for it. But then on the flip side, you have people robbing and looting Foot Locker, running out with a pair of sneakers.
I mean, think about it. All this just happened. Now next month will be a year where all this just happened.
Correct.
So imagine the what it took for these business owners to get back into, on top of the fact that the COVID-19 situation, that the lockdown and everything is going on. So it's hard enough for you to make money. Now, a year ago, your establishments were destroyed. And now after you get back on your feet and things are starting to get back to normal, now they're being destroyed again.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of, I'm assuming it's very tough on business owners.
Yeah. The Minnesota governor, Tim Walz, actually did impose a curfew in 3 counties from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. on 3 counties in Hennepin, Ramsey, and Anuka. Yeah. He also had a message for potential lawbreakers stating, for those who choose to go out and exploit these tragedies for personal gain, you can rest assured that the largest police presence in Minnesota history will be prepared. He said at a press conference, you will be arrested and you will be charged.
Yeah. Well,
and, I can't knock him for that. At the end of the day, listen, he's not stating nothing wrong about the protesting, because, we have a right to protest. Yeah, but, there's rioting and looting is definitely not the way to go and get your point across.
No, and imagine because the George Floyd murder trial is currently going on, there's already a heightened sensitivity with law enforcement and with the federal government to make sure that everything, they're anticipating what might happen after the trial ends. And now on top of that, you're adding this to it. So I'm pretty sure that it's a little tense, or very tense at this moment in Minnesota.
Definitely is. You did state though that President Biden did actually have a speech, correct?
Yeah. Actually, Biden spoke on Monday, and he stated that he spoke to the mayor and to the governor of Minnesota, assuming that to see what help he can extend. He also stated that he hadn't spoken to the family of Dante Wright, but that he did extend his prayers and his thoughts to them. he basically stated that he wanted to see what the for us to keep the peace, keep the calm. Let's see what the investigation shows us. His big question was it an accident or was it intentional? So, he wants he wants to see if the shooting was justified or if it was an intentional situation that happened. He actually even commented that Mr. Wright's mother also wanted, also put a statement out to Minnesotans, I guess he would say it, to the Minnesota people to please keep calm
to keep the peace.
Keep the peace. There was actually a reporter, a CNN. He was, while he was while he was giving, his speech, while he was talking to the people, of Minnesota, if the federal government was going to give any extra help to keep the peace, and he, stated, in not in his own words, but basically saying that, if it was necessary, that he would incur the federal government to help. He was hoping that he didn't have to, but that he already had resources there in anticipation of what might happen after the George Floyd murder trials were over.
Yeah.
So it's a sensitive situation that they're going through out there, and why you can see why.
Well, listen, do you have any final thoughts on this, man, before we wrap things up?
Man, I was thinking, man, I just wanted to put this point across. The fact that Biden came out on Monday and spoke to the people of Minnesota and asked for peace and asked for calm and asked for everyone to please wait for the investigation before they reacted or overreacted to the situation. And I compared it to the lack of sympathy and compassion that Trump showed when the George Floyd murder happened. And his comment, Trump's comment, or that I remember from this, was when the looting starts, the shooting starts. So we can see already what our leaders, of the difference in our leaders are between a year ago to today.
Well, listen, all we can do now is just, continue to pray for the city and the city of Minnesota, and pray for the families, man, who have lost, members of their loved ones.
Absolutely.
And pray that things get better, man.
Absolutely, man. I hope that everybody, that everything calms down and that people, stay safe.
Yeah, man. But with that, man, we're gonna take a short commercial break, man. We'll be right back, and we'll come back with some celebrity news that we got in hand, man. You already know. Stay tuned.
Yeah, man. See you in a bit.
Back with the Sala Takeover, powered by Millennium TV. Your main man Rubio, back at it again with my brother Willie Will. Willie Will, what's up, man?
No, man, nothing much. I was just thinking, man. Did you hear that Usher story? Did you read about this?
I mean, listen, is these Ush bucks, as they were referencing.
the Ush bucks. I didn't hear that, man, but that's good. That's funny.
They call them Ush bucks. So per TMZ, Usher went to a strip club, Sapphire in Las Vegas. And was tossing up $100 bills with his face on it, man.
Oh yeah. So, I didn't know Usher was printing his own money.
I mean, listen, man. Talk about doing it big, I guess. Apparently,
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you tell us the story, man. It's just funny how social media just twists and turns everything into something crazy.
So per TMZ, Usher went to the strip club Sapphire in Vegas, and he was out there tossing this money up. Now, some of these dancers who were there for a moment, I guess, were picking it up or thought it was real money. She quickly went to social media, of course, because that's what everybody does nowadays.
Exactly.
And stated, the money does not have any trading value whatsoever. LMAO, whatever. Don't yet think he should be blasted on social media for this. Now, Usher's party did also state, did come out with a statement stating that it that's not what he used to pay.
In other words, she made it seem like he went out there with this fake Usher money and was just throwing that in order to tip the dancers or whatever the case may be. I mean, come on, like. Let's be serious.
I'm so nice. I make my own money and I toss it at
you. Yeah, this has value. I have a contract with the government, and now they're gonna make money with my face on it.
Nah,
but I think the manager also came out and stated that Usher did tip and pay for everything with real money.
Yeah,
not
rep
the Usher money.
the rep for
Not the Usher.
Sapphire actually told TMZ that Usher actually did go and change thousands of dollars. That it was all a big miscommunication, and that he did leave also a large tip for the staff, and was quite generous.
Right. At the end of the day, what he was doing, it was a promotional thing because he's gonna have I'm sorry, what do you call it?
Residency, as they call
residency. I'm sorry, thank you. He's gonna have a residency in Las Vegas, so it was a promotional situation. It was a promotional thing that he was using at the club. It was never meant for him to pay or to trick them into thinking. I think she wanted to get compensated for the time she spent on the floor picking up the Ush
possibly,
bucks.
Man, possibly.
I think she felt something a certain type of way.
Well, listen, man. Touching up on his residency, Usher actually has an upcoming residency, which he was promoting with the money.
Okay.
In the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. I'm not too sure how long the residency is, but apparently you can catch Usher there on a regular eventually.
There you go. Next time we go to Vegas, let's go see Usher.
Usher.
Can we get in with? Can we get an entrance with the Ush bucks?
Maybe.
We can pay for the. Okay, we'll try it.
There's a possibility. But listen, man, talk about investing in yourself like Usher did. Let's touch up on Nas, man. Nas could possibly net $100 million.
Yeah. So I read a Yahoo Finance report stating I'm thinking about Usher now. That Nas
Ush bucks, huh?
The Ush bucks is 1 billion Ush bucks. That Nas stands to potentially make, as of Wednesday, $1 billion in an investment that he made in 2013.
$100 million.
$100 million into a $25 million investment that he made through his Queensbridge Venture Partners, which is a company that he created. They came into it with $25 million in 2018. Invested in Coinbase, and it's going public on Wednesday. So it or went public on Wednesday. Gotcha. So it'll possibly net them $100 billion, which could possibly put, like we said, $100 million.
Get off of this billion, man.
No,
you're not Dr. Evil.
No. It was okay. So this is what it is. He stands to make $100 million out of the $25 million investment as of 2018. So it's expected to reach a value of $100 billion.
The Coinbase
when it goes into NASDAQ as of Wednesday.
Okay.
So that's what it is. So basically, the company's $25 million investment could turn into $100 billion profit. That's big, man. That's nice. That's boom, boom. Around that time, when he got the Coinbase, when he purchased the Coinbase had was valued at $143 million according to PitchBook.
Well, I mean, listen, man. It seems that that's the route that a lot of people are going with this Coinbase, with cryptocurrency and stuff that's going on like that, man. And Bitcoin is definitely increasing in value. So, shouts out to Nas for getting a jump start on it, man, and investing in money, man.
Absolutely, man. That's a come up. That's a come up that I wouldn't mind having, my brother.
No, of course not, man.
I think I bought $11 worth of Bitcoin or something like that. Who knows? I think I made like $300 last week.
Hey, man, it's a start. You got to start somewhere. Man.
Absolutely.
I mean, apparently that's what A-Rod's doing, man. A-Rod couldn't actually bought a team, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. A-Rod with his partner Mark Lore have purchased the Minnesota Timberwolves for $1.5 billion.
How about that?
I mean, I'm assuming that they didn't allow A-Rod with J-Lo into the baseball boys club. So he decided to not. What's funny, when he was trying to buy go into baseball to buy the Mets, it was A-Rod and J-Lo and an investment company. Now it's Alex Rodriguez, Mark Lore, and $1.5 billion in investment. He says he's trying to bring some type of diversity and bring the Minnesota Timberwolves into like a better light, into more diversity.
Gotcha.
So I think it's pretty cool, man.
Well, let's see, man. Cool. Maybe that's a fresh start that Minnesota needs, because Minnesota has been struggling.
That and it helps his image, man. Like me and you had a conversation the other day about this. Alex Rodriguez had an ugly reputation at one point, because of the whole steroid scandal. So I think this is part of helping him, fix his image with the public. Now he's like beloved.
Well, let's see. Hopefully it helps him out, man. But we're gonna have to take a short commercial break, man. We'll be back, man. You already know. Sala Takeover, powered by Millennium TV. Stay tuned, man. With the Sala Takeover, powered by Millennium TV. Your main man Rubio back at it again with my brother Ill Will. Let him know, Will, what we got coming, man.
What do we got coming? We have the NFL draft. That's one of the big sports news that's out there. The NFL draft is Saturday, May 1st, which is 6 days and 8 hours from now,
and counting.
And counting, everybody's waiting for this to happen, man. And the big subject, that the draft is bringing along is who's gonna go top 3, top 4, top 5.
Yeah, definitely.
As far as quarterbacks, who's choosing who.
Well, number one, we know for a fact is going to be Trevor Lawrence. Let's not doubt that.
I think we could fairly say that after they traded Darnold, that number 1 and 2 is a foregone conclusion, which is Trevor Lawrence, and that the Jaguars are going to take Trevor Lawrence, and that the Jets are going to take Zach Wilson. Yep. The little controversy is when we get to number 3 with the 49ers.
Gotcha.
So basically the 49ers, when the first pro days coming along, they attended Mac Jones's pro day. So everybody just started assuming, which was a couple of weeks ago. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. So everybody was just assuming that the 49ers were in on Mac Jones. But as we all know, there's a second round of pro days, which I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. You got these kids running around in shorts, throwing the football, to a route, to their route guys, to their boys. And, these guys are trying to make decisions on who their next quarterback is going to be with a guy without even pads on. Nobody coming at them. It's a little difficult. I never thought it made any sense.
Listen, man, who knows why it's done that way? Who knows? But you're definitely right. There are a lot of quarterbacks that are going in this draft. Now, my thing is the Niners have traded up for the number 3 pick.
Yeah.
They traded up for
a lot.
They traded a lot. Yeah, they traded. I mean, did they?
Yeah, they did. I mean, it was a whole, for the number 4 pick.
So then,
what a lot of people were saying is that if you were giving up that amount of draft capital, you could have possibly gone up to number 2, and then that the Jets, they might have not been 100% on trading Donald at that time, so they ended up with the 3rd spot. They gave up a couple of, I think, first and second rounders, or second and third rounders, in order to move up to number 3, and went to go see Mac Jones.
Yeah.
But like you told me, like we were talking about a little while ago, on the second pro days, now they're visiting Justin Fields.
Yeah. My thing is, you still have Jimmy G. So it's like, what do you intend to do? You want to stay with Jimmy G? Or they what they say, stated by the team, they do not want to trade Jimmy G.
They all say that, my brother. They were praising the Jets were praising Donald for weeks. He's such a professional. He's such a good kid. He's smart. This, that, the other. We would love to have him on our team. And look what happens as soon as something comes along, they trade him out. They're lying, bro.
My thing with the Jets is the Jets need they need to turn a new leaf. They got a new head coach in there. They got Robert Saleh, who was the 49ers defensive coordinator, I think is a fresh change, man. I think the Jets' biggest mistake was getting Sam Darnold and then having Adam Gase try to guide him in grooming him into being an NFL quarterback. I don't have faith in Adam Gase, man.
Nobody does at this point. You basically have ruined 2 quarterbacks.
That's
one of them, Tannehill, which actually turned around and actually had a great year.
Big facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you know, what did you do with this kid, man? But then does he still have that potential in him to be, you know, that great quarterback that they actually traded up last year to
Yeah.
get him as well? I mean, not last year, 2 years ago,
Yeah.
you know, to get him as well. So my question was, if you brought in a better system, would you have been able to fix Donald and tune his skills in to benefit for you?
Well,
I think it's better for him, you know,
no.
to have, you know, to have gone to the new team.
Well, have we discussed before? It's a new team for him. He's definitely gonna have more weapons, which the Jets don't have. He's gonna be tossing the ball back to his old target and Robbie Anderson.
Yeah,
He's gonna
yeah,
have
yeah.
he's gonna have Christian McCaffrey in the backfield to help him. So I
Yes.
think it's good, man.
Yes.
So I think it's a good change for them. The Jets are gonna have to work with Zach Wilson. I haven't seen a lot of footage on Zach Wilson, but they do have him on tankathon.com. They actually have a mock draft going on. And they
Okay.
have Trevor Lawrence going number 1 to the Jaguars, Zach Wilson going number 2 to the Jets, and Justin Fields going number 3 to the Niners.
Which is the surprising change because originally they had Zach Wilson going to the 49ers.
I
But that
mean,
was, like I said, that was a couple of weeks ago.
there have been talks of the Patriots actually grabbing Mac Jones, so who knows?
But and the Patriots are also attending Justin Fields' second pro day. So
So,
there's like a little quarterback je ne sais quoi going on. Like, who do we love? Who do we like?
well,
You
my
know?
thing is this. My thing is the Patriots are probably just doing their due diligence, making sure that just in case the Niners do grab Mac Jones, they actually get an eye at Justin Fields and see if he's worth the pickup.
You know, which is weird because remember, Belichick is not known to take quarterbacks in the first round. I mean,
That's
even
true.
Tom
That's true.
Brady was like number 90 something
Yeah.
in the pick of the draft. You know, so it's not his MO. But then again, like we were talking about it, yesterday, he never had to. You know, he had
Yep.
his
Never
Tom
did have
Brady.
to.
You know,
Yep.
he just had his little backup. You know, whoever that was, which obviously after about 5, 6 Super Bowls, you know, you kind of know that this is your man. That
Yep.
Tom
That's
Brady
your
was going to
guy.
be the
That's
guy.
your guy.
You know, so we'll see if he does anything different this year in the draft. You know, that which to me just means that they still don't feel confident in their quarterback situation.
Yeah. Well, they don't. I mean, they did resign Cam Newton for 1 more year,
Yeah,
but
but like I said, he didn't
listen
have a
from
great year, but
no,
you know,
no, no, he didn't. But
yeah,
I mean, listen, they're gonna have to turn it around. They probably just re-sign Cam for 1 more year to give him the breathing room. See if he turns it around, and if
yeah.
not, they have Cam in there, and they have a young rookie quarterback that they can work with for the following years coming.
Right. And then let's see what happens. And then also remember, they're going to get a lot of players that opted out for the
Correct.
season because of the COVID. Defensive players,
That's
players that
correct.
I'm pretty sure are going to help Cam Newton out. You know, so
Definitely.
hopefully, I'm rooting for Cam Newton. I'm actually a fan of Cam Newton, so I hope that he has a better year. You know, I think he will. Maybe he's going to be. You know, he'll be more comfortable with the system. Last year he had the COVID issue, which had him out. You know, for a couple
Yeah,
of
for a
weeks,
while.
had to come back, get himself back into game shape. So, it was a teeter, it was a up and down with him,
Yep.
but we definitely know he has the skills to be a great quarterback. So let's just
Well,
see
listen,
if the
man.
Patriots can bring it out of him.
The draft is soon coming, man, and as draft talks keep coming around, we'll keep
Yeah.
informing you. We're gonna take a short commercial break, man. When we come back, we got some NBA and some baseball action because baseball is here, baseball is back, baby. You already know. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with this short commercial break, man. Back with the Sala Takeover, powered by Millennium TV. The main man Rubio back at again with my brother Willie Will. Bringing out some. We're going to continue the sports, man, with the NBA action, man. The Knicks getting in a little hot streak again, bro.
Yeah, at least we have that in common, being that we're opposite baseball teams. But yeah, man, our Knicks are looking a lot better than we thought they were gonna look this year, man. I mean, they had the prognostication was that they were gonna have 23 wins in the year. They're actually at 28 and 27 right now. They just recently had a little bit of a slide.
Yep.
They lost 5 out of 6 games. They
Tough
were
losses, man. Tough losses.
Well, look, their schedule is hard, man.
Yeah.
They're playing the Mavs, they're playing the Lakers, they're playing, they're
play
playing
Brooklyn.
they're playing Brooklyn again. They're playing the Clippers in the next few games. So the last 3 games that they won, they're on a little 3-game winning streak, which is great.
Yep.
They beat
Toronto.
They beat Toronto. They beat the Lakers yesterday. And who was the previous one before?
The Memphis Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies. So he went against, and then today they actually. Oh no, on Wednesday they played the Pelicans. So our boy RJ Barrett, who's he's been snubbed by
by Zion Williamson.
Well, John Moran and Zion Williamson's were the top 2 picks, and they are actually getting all the media, and they're getting all the accolades.
But you know what? I think RJ Barrett has grown into his spot in the Knicks, where
he's mad, man. He's
I think he loves that they're getting all the attention, because now he's like, what, I'm gonna prove you guys wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's definitely has stepped up his game. His game has definitely improved. He's scoring way more consistently. His jump shot has gotten better. And I think I'm glad for him, man. I'm glad for us, man, that he's on our squad.
RJ's squad is shooting 40% from the field at this point. RJ Barrett, in the beginning of the year, when you saw RJ Barrett behind the 3-point line.
Get it right. RJ Buckets. RJ
3-point buckets, baby.
RJ 3-point buckets.
I want to see him do one of these, like Melo used to do, man. That would be amazing. You imagine a little ode to Melo, and
hey, man.
No, but he's vastly improved his 3-point shooting. He's vastly improved his free throw shooting. At the beginning of he's up to like 76% free throw shootings right now. If you look at his last, I would say about within 10 games, when about 10 games ago, when you saw him with the ball at the end of the game, you kind of cringed and you were like, man, here's RJ Barrett with the ball. He would do some wide, he would try to lay it up, and it was like a wide to the left, wide to the right. But
I think he was forcing it. At that time, he was forcing himself, because, playing in New York is not easy.
It's high pressure, man. It's
high pressure. So I think, now he's getting a little bit more comfortable. He's enjoying playing in New York. The fans are accepting of him more.
Yeah, of course.
And he's definitely settling in, man. Him, Julius Randle definitely are, have definitely carried this team on their back.
No, man, you seen Julius Randle dish out assist to him. He's finishing at the bucket. It's really nice to see, man. I'm really happy for the kid.
I mean, Julius Randle's consistently has gotten a good amount of triple doubles this year, man, with the Knicks.
Yeah, absolutely. He's actually, I think he has the record right now for triple doubles.
Yeah.
With the Knicks. So that's a very nice situation. He's putting the Knicks in.
Yeah.
He's helping them out for sure. It's very cool.
Well, that's a good thing, man. I'm glad the Knicks are going that way. My expectation for them this season was more. Just give me a 500 and above record, man.
Yeah.
I know they still need work, but just give me a 500 above record, and we'll continue. As long as we continue to get better, I'm happy with it.
Listen, realistically, if they can pull out a few games here and there that we might think they're not going to pull out, they can actually slide into the playoffs.
Hey,
but even if they make it into the play-in tournament, I think that's big, for the Knicks.
Definitely.
No, that's nice. So definitely. So let's keep rooting for our Knicks, man.
Yeah, let's go, man. Going from one New York team to the next, man. MLB has started. Both New York teams have looked shaky, as to say. The Mets barely have gotten any play. The Mets are one of the teams in the MLB with the least games played. Who they've only played 5, which is crazy.
Yeah, they're 2-3 right now in that 5-game span that they played so far, which isn't a good look.
No,
and 2 of those in the 3 losses, 2 of those have been the DeGrom starts.
Yeah,
and they've lost both games, man, which is upsetting. It's sad.
Well,
DeGrom is putting in.
One of them was because of an arrangement that he had with Luis Rojas and the GM to take him out after 77 pitches, which I don't get, but whatever.
Didn't make any sense, man. Not in the first.
As long as he's on the same ship and and he was on according with it, I'm fine with it. As a fan, you're like, why aren't you leaving him in?
I'm sorry, I'm not fine with it. It's the first game of the year.
Exactly.
We want to see what our aces have, especially our main ace, who's the best pitcher in the league. I want to see what you got.
You over here give me pitch count. counts. Give me a break.
No, give me a pitch count, but give me 85, 90 pitches, not 77 pitches. And now when I'm getting excited, you know, you're pulling off the game. Now you're gonna pull the man out with 77 pitches. And why would you agree to this? I mean, come on, man, show your stuff. Let's see what you got.
You know, like you were saying, and then second DeGrom start, you know, the Mets look anemic. We'll see, man. Hopefully the trend doesn't continue. Hopefully they get back into playing ball. They're gonna play a lot of doubleheaders, but you know, they need to turn it around. Jumping right into the Yankees because we're short on time.
They're not doing any better, my friend. The Yankees, the Yankees bats are dead. They're not getting hits. Their aces are depleted. They brought, you know, they brought Hap down. You know, like he wasn't. Garrett Cole is basically all they got.
Yeah. Corey Kluber did not look good in his outing. I think the Yankees, as long as they can try to convert it and, you know, stay away from the long ball, play some small ball, the Yankees are always going to be the evil empire, as they say, and they're gonna do what they do, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think
their bats will come alive, man. Eventually, the bats will come alive. They're going to win over 100 games.
It's crazy because it's opposite of the Mets. The Mets I think the Mets have the pitching, but their bats are never always there. The Yankees always have the hitting, but their pitching is never there to rely on.
Yeah, but we have a pretty decent bullpen, which is good. But it teeters, man.
You may have a good bullpen, but the starting pitching has to get you there first.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100% there, my brother.
So, you know, I think both New York teams need to things to work on. Hopefully they step it up.
I think they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll get the legs under them eventually, and they'll get it going.
Yeah, well,
I'm pretty sure they will.
With that being said, my brother, it's been a pleasure.
Man, the time's over already.
Yeah, man. Listen, the time flies when you're having fun, is what they say.
Yeah, my brother. Yeah, it's always a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure.
Well, listen, as always, man, thank you for watching us on M24 News in sponsorship with Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV. And don't forget to download us. Download the app on your Android and iPhones. Stay tuned, man. And just keep on watching, man. We appreciate the love and support. Absolutely. Stay tuned, man. Bring you out of heat, as always, man.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks.
Take care.